No in the bag, bitch.
Alrighty guys, I'm here to show you how to do your brows. This is a basics video for those who are learning to do their brows or they just want to get some extra tips, you know. If that is you, stay tuned. So I always start by brushing my brows out with a spoolie. You can get that from the beauty supply store. They're literally like a pack for $1. Or sometimes you can buy it with a brush. You're also going to want an angled brush. And what I use, I use the, I'm trying to show you guys, I'm not focusing. Yeah, I use Anastasia Brow Powder Duo, the Ebony color. It looks like this, and it comes with these two colors. Mine is a little, then sometimes I'll use this NYX. This color is dark brown. This color is a little too dark for brows in my opinion, so if you can find a lighter color, I definitely go with a lighter shade. And then all you also need is some concealer to clean you up. I use the medium beige, that's my favorite. And that is all you will need to start your brows. So once you have brushed out your brows as well as possible, make sure you know what shape your eyebrow is best in, because some people have rounded eyebrows at the top, some people have pointed eyebrows at the top, some people like a deeper arch. So that all of that is really important when considering how to do your brows. So when I start at the bottom, what I'm doing is I'm starting from this end, which is where I want my brow to start. And you notice how like there's not really any hair. So some people would typically start like this, but you don't want to go straight across. I mean, depending on how your eyebrows are shaped, but you don't really want to go straight across. So I'm gonna take my duo. I'm going with the color that I normally use. You see how lightly I'm doing it? And I'm doing the front lightly on purpose, but on the back, I'm gonna be a little bit harsher just because I don't got no brows. Now the arch is probably where you guys get most confused. So for the arch, you know, you want to make the arch deep because you want it to look like your brows are done. That's the part that makes your brows look done. So you kind of want a nice deep arch to make it as angled as possible. Think of like a little hill. So if you want, like, for instance, if you want like a deeper arch, like if you like this kind of look, you might want to think of something that's more curved on this side. Or if you want something that's a little bit more pointy, think of a pointy hill. So like that, but I don't do pointy, so. And lightly. You see how it's kind of setting the shape for the brow, that bottom line, right? Now, for the top part, now that I got the bottom shaped, right? You're just going to, this is what I do. But I like to bring my hairs down, brush them down, and then this is when I set the top. Now the top is gonna determine how thick your eyebrows are. So if you want a thick brow, you know, you wanna start a little bit towards like the top of where the brow is. If you want them thinner, the trick is you go closer inwards. So instead of starting up here, you're starting like a little bit down here. And lightly. You see, I'm not pressing at all. I'm lightly tapping. Light brush. See that? Okay, cool. Now for the end, and my brows are not waxed, they're not done, so I'm gonna just let that part be. It's cool, just let it be. It's okay to go over the brow hair, so just let it be. Now I'm lightly filling it in. Like I said, when I'm filling it in, I start from the tail of the brow instead of starting from the front, because you want to get this gradient effect that's kind of making it fade into the eyebrow. You don't want it to be harsh over here. So this part is okay if it's a little bit deeper and darker in color, because you want this part to stand out. This part of your brow is where it's like, okay, I have brows, but this part, you don't want it to be so harsh, because that's how people get that real blocky look that people don't want, right? So this is how I'm filling it in. Now I'm gonna brush the hairs back up, right? And this is where I'm gonna start. Make sure, I don't know. Now this is when you wanna be real light with your brush. Like I'm barely squeezing my brush. Like I'm lightly holding it. I'm not squeezing it at all. And I'm just lightly filling it. And it's important once you finish to go in with your spoolie and kind of brush the front hairs too, so that again, it's not as dark and as harsh. You see the difference? And again, that tail, you want to make sure it's a little bit deeper, darker in color. So sometimes I'll go back with the darker color and just kind of lightly go over the tail. You also want your tail to be pointy. You want it to be pointed. Well, at least I do like it to be pointed. You don't want it to be super thick at the end, and you don't want it to be rounded. Try to make it a clean cut. To clean it up, what you're gonna need is your concealer. So I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer. And to clean it up, you are again gonna start at the bottom and just kind of trace over where you did. This is where you want to be very gentle. And then next we're gonna do the top. Starting from here. And you want your line to be really clean, but I also try to put a little bit, a little right underneath it. Y'all see that? Before I clean it up and blend and, you know, start on all the other makeup stuff, that's when I go into the top. Now I'm trying to do this so that y'all can see, but let me know if anything, if you can't see. that? And if you mess up, luckily with the powder, and this is why I like to use the powder, you can just kind of lightly brush over it. You don't want to mix your brow powder and the concealer. Like, you don't want the concealer getting into the brow area, because then it gets really annoying, and then that's when you have to keep redoing your brows because it keeps messing up, But the key is to always be really gentle with the way you're holding the brush. Like, I'm lightly and barely even holding the brush. So the gradient effect, the sharp tail at the end, a nice arch, nice deep arch, nicely rounded, not too pointy. Then you're going to take a blending brush and this is how I like to do it. To start is I also wet this, so when I wet it, it helps kind of with the blending process. Lightly brush it away. Think of it like you're sweeping.